Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the video. The NHL playoffs are ongoing. It's the best time of the year if you're an NHL hockey fan, and it's very exciting this year with a lot of great series. With that said, prior to any playoffs beginning or maybe any season beginning, we like to talk about predictions and predicting the Stanley Cup winner for the upcoming season, for the season after that. And obviously, more often than not, people are wrong. I've only been right once. I started making videos on YouTube on this channel, or I guess not this channel, but the original Post to Post channel, at the beginning of 2017. And I have only once correctly predicted the Stanley Cup winner. That was in 2018 when the Washington Capitals won. Feel free to check my work. I've been wrong way more than I've been right, and that's just the way it goes, okay? So, we always do predictions, but recently with ChatGPT and other AI and stuff, I wanted to test it. I wanted to test and see how it reasons and actually have a conversation with it. I'm not a huge fan of AI, but I will completely admit that I use AI almost on a daily basis. In my actual job, I work in some very specific, detailed, in-depth programs, and sometimes it's a lot easier to just ask ChatGPT how to do something in that program versus try and find it online somewhere or figure it out myself. And I also like to kind of talk logic with it about processes and stuff as well. So there's been a lot of conversation about using AI or ChatGPT to make betting predictions or bets on a daily basis or on an entire round or future entire winners of leagues and stuff. And I wanted to put that to the test a little bit. Now, I can't tell you what's going to happen because obviously it's not happened yet, but I can walk you through what it thinks is going to happen. So this isn't my prediction. This is ChatGPT's prediction with some assistance. So it did predict the next Stanley Cup winner and then the following four after that. So the next 5 Stanley Cup winners. And I want to bring up its current prediction for this year, 2025. So I'm going to bring it up and I'll read through everything for each year and why it did pick the team that it did. So the first team, which is the upcoming winner, hypothetically, it thinks that the Florida Panthers are going to win this year. Now, I will say that I did this kind of conversation, I guess, with ChatGPT prior to the second round starting. So in its eyes, it is facing the Panthers are facing the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's 0-0 in the series. And old ChatGPT, maybe like a year or a year and a half ago, could only reference information prior to, I think it's February 2022. But right now it can search the internet live and stuff. So it's able to make conversations about current events way better and way easier. It was almost impossible before, basically. So its rationale is that the Florida Panthers are going to win this year. Okay, they are the Stanley Cup winner this year. The actual rationale is the Panthers' blend of experience and emerging young talent makes them strong contenders. Their deep roster and leadership position them for a potential cup win in the near future. I mean, so far so good. I mean, they won last year, but Florida's a good team, okay? That's very reasonable that they could win again this year, especially if you've watched them in the first round or maybe the last couple of games. They are very good. So we're on track, I would say, as a very reasonable kind of outlook. Let's skip to next year, okay? Let's get this going. 2026, ChatGPT thinks that the Dallas Stars are going to win the Cup next year, okay, in 2026. Rationale. The Stars are a balanced team with a star core. In brackets, Robertson, Heiskanen, Ottinger, and the potential to peak during this time, making them solid contenders for the Cup. Okay, it's pretty reasonable. Dallas is a good team. They've been a good team for probably the past 5 or 6 years. They've had a great playoff success. They haven't got it done, but they've gone deep many times. So why not next year? We're still on track, okay? 2027, let's skip ahead a little bit. Colorado Avalanche is the prediction and the rationale. Just watch closely here. Colorado's mix of youth and experienced leadership keeps them in the conversation for championships. Their depth, led by McKinnon and Rantanen, makes them a serious contender in this window. So here's where things kind of go off the track a little bit. And just keep in mind that at this point in the conversation between I and ChatGPT, I have already corrected them probably 5 or 6 times on specific things. This list was different. This list was different when I first did this. There were a couple of teams in there, and their rationale referenced players that, aren't even on that team anymore. And it got to the point where it just kept referencing incorrect information. So I just stopped trying to correct it. And I'm like, okay, here's what it is. After 5 or 6 attempts, this is still the best option or the best prediction that they can make. And this is the point that I want to make. If you're out there making betting predictions with AI's help, ChatGPT or any other AI, it's giving you incorrect information. And sometimes you don't know. If you're a general hockey fan and you don't know that Rantanen doesn't play for the Colorado Avalanche anymore, because it is kind of a recent change, that's this prediction by this AI is still considers Rantanen on the Colorado Avalanche. He's not. He hasn't been for a bit. So for whatever reason, even though it's able to search the web and look at current information, it's still unable to determine if a player does or doesn't play for a team anymore. And that's the perfect example. So if you're using ChatGPT to make betting predictions, I would take it with a grain of salt, okay? It's not unusual for the Colorado Avalanche to be on this list or be the cup prediction for 2027 next year or whatever. But if you look at the specific rationale, I don't know. I question that. We're going to talk more in depth about this in a future video coming up, but I just want to note that. Let's skip on to 2028. Vegas Golden Knights is the prediction. Here's the rationale. After their recent success, the Golden Knights have built a team that can be competitive for several years. With goaltending stability and key players like Stone and Eichel, they will remain strong. I think that's on track. It's a pretty decent prediction. Vegas Golden Knights 2028, and a lot of these teams, I mean, the 4 teams that I just mentioned, could win the cup. Like the Vegas could win the cup next year, not in 2028. Like it's very reasonable picks in terms of teams so far. 2029, the last one, Carolina Hurricanes. Okay, rationale. Carolina's focus on depth, defense, and consistent player development puts them in a position to take home a cup by the late 2020s. With a promising future ahead, they are likely to capitalize on the opportunities presented. I think that's a very reasonable prediction and a very reasonable way to look at that for the Carolina Hurricanes. So it's not the overall list that's the problem. These are all very reasonable predictions. The order also is, fairly reasonable. I guess Vegas at 2028 seems a little bit late for me. I'd probably put them 2026 or 2027, but that's, really nitpicky. It's not the teams that it's picking or necessarily the order. It's the specific reasoning or rationale behind some of it. I have one little paragraph of context of why it's making its decisions. That's kind of it. I could have asked for more, but I didn't want a book. So it's just a point where you can use ChatGPT to help you with things, but ultimately it can't make decisions for you. It's the same if you're designing jersey concepts. Sure, you could throw some text into an AI and have it generate an image for you of a jersey. And it does make sense, some of it, but it's still not yours. It's still not your design. It's not your exact interpretation of what you want in your brain. It might get close, but it's probably not ever going to be exactly the same, or at least not in the near future. That's why sometimes it's fun to look at AI arenas and AI jerseys and stuff, but at the same time, it's kind of nonsense. Like, I'm always going to prefer a real person's prediction, whether you're an average hockey fan that barely watches hockey, a hardcore hockey fan, a professional analyst or commentator. I'm always going to prefer those predictions, and I'm always going to prefer actual designers in the community, their designs, logos, jerseys, whatever. AI is a tool. That's it. It is not the be-all, end-all. And I think this is a really good example of that. Another good example is a video that I would like to probably bring out tomorrow or talk about tomorrow. I'm going to film it right after this one and then hopefully edit it for tomorrow. It's the entire league and every team's chances on winning a cup in the next 5 years. Obviously, you've seen some predictions already, but it's when you talk about percentages and you include the entire league, for the next 5 years, things get a little bit wonky. So the top 5 might actually not align with the 5 that you saw here. I know that doesn't really make sense, but the data is still interesting. Like, it's a tool. It's not the be-all, end-all. It's still interesting. So in the next video, we're going to go through every single team in the NHL and talk about ChatGPT's, percentage prediction that team will win the Stanley Cup in the next 5 years. So in this video, I just talked about 5 teams. Maybe you're not a fan of one of those 5 teams, but if you're a fan of any NHL team and you want to see your team's percentage prediction based on the next 5 years in AI, join me for the next video. Subscribe down below if you're new. Would love to see you on board so we can talk through this data or nonsense or both. That's the fun part of it. We can look at it with an open mind and still make our decisions and have some fun doing it. So I hope to see you there in that next video coming up. I appreciate you watching this one. Let me know down below in the comment section, I guess, 2 things. What do you think of the 5 predictions for the next 5 years in this video that ChatGPT did? And what's your predictions for the next 5 years? Let me know. Give me the years, 2025, 26, 27, 28, and 29. Let me know your 5 predictions for the upcoming 5 years for the NHL teams. Who do you think is going to win the Stanley Cup in the next 5 years for every year? If you've got a couple minutes, leave it down below in the comment section. And I guess maybe a third thing. Do you use ChatGPT for work, for school, for whatever? And how often do you use it? Would love to know your opinion on that just in general. So yeah, thanks for talking with me and hanging out with me. We'll talk to you very soon in that next video. Adios.